and they were not allowed to bring the animal into the haram. فَأَتَوْا عَلَى قَوْمٍ يَعْكُفُونَ عَلَى أَصْنَامٍ لَهُمْ. This is the meaning of staying firm. The Bani Israel, they came upon عَلَى قَوْمٍ, upon a group of people, يَعْكُفُونَ عَلَى أَصْنَامٍ لَهُمْ. يَعْكُفُون means they were firmly worshipping their idols. So these are the two meanings of the word akafa in the Arabic language. Islamic definition: وَالْإِقَامَةُ بِنِيَّتِهِ فِي مَسْجِدٍ تُقَامُ فِيهِ الْجَمَاعَةِ بِالْفِعْلِ لِصَلَوَاتِ الْخَمْسِ. To remain with the intention of i'tikaf in a masjid wherein 5-time daily congregational salat are held. So if you see in this definition, the key part is to remain within the confines of the masjid, remaining within the masjid. And number 2 is you have to have the niyyah with the intention of i'tikaf. And the place you are staying in has to be a place where 5-time daily salat are held. That means if you stay in your home or a shop or any other public place, that will not be i'tikaf. The i'tikaf has to be only in a masjid where salawat, 5 times daily prayers are held. And it has to be with the niyyah. And the main rukn and pillar of i'tikaf is to remain within that masjid boundary. If a person leaves the masjid boundary, then his i'tikaf will break. Ali radiallahu anhu, Hudhayfa radiallahu anhu, Aisha radiallahu anha says, وَلَا اعْتِكَافَ إِلَّا فِي مَسْجِدٍ جَامِعٍ. There is no i'tikaf unless it is done in a masjid where people congregate for Jummah prayers. That is known as a masjid in jami'in. So there are different types of actions. Some of them, the emphasis is on having an appearance of showing one's love to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Among them is i'tikaf. What happens in i'tikaf is a person severes all his ties with other creation and he strengthens his relationship with his beloved Allah Azza wa Jal. He physically places himself in the house of his beloved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The person who is in i'tikaf, he's making an earnest effort to win the favor of Allah, the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as he is spending time in i'tikaf, subhanallah, a special bond is created between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ata al-Khurasani rahimahullah from the Tabi'een, he says, a person who is performing i'tikaf is like a person that is putting himself in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he's saying that, Ya Allah, that until you do not forgive me, I will not leave. He's like a beggar at the door of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the spirit we should have when we are doing i'tikaf. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had a special attachment with the i'tikaf. Every year he would perform i'tikaf with great care. On one occasion, he made i'tikaf the entire month. One year he did 20 days, and the remaining years he did 10 days every year. One Ramadan, when he could not keep i'tikaf, then he made it up, he made qada of it in the following month of Shawwal. One year, due to traveling, then he could not keep it, so he made it up following year 20 days. But Rasulullah always made up the days. Besides these few occasions, he did 10 days i'tikaf within Ramadan. Abu Salma radiallahu anhu narrates, once I went to Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu anhu and I asked him, why don't you come with us outside by the date palm tree and we can have a talk. So Abu Sa'id al-Khudri went out and I asked him, radiallahu anhu, tell me, what have you heard from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam about Laylatul Qadr? Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu replied, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once performed i'tikaf on the first 10 days of Ramadan, and we did with him. Jibreel alayhi salam came and told him, what you're looking for, that special night of Laylatul Qadr, it is still coming ahead. Then Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our beloved Prophet, he performed i'tikaf second 10 days of Ramadan. We did i'tikaf with him. Then Jibreel alayhi salam came and said, what you're looking for is ahead of you. This is the year he did 30 days. On the 20th morning, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam delivered a sermon saying, whoever performed i'tikaf with me the last 20 days, he needs to continue doing so in the next 10 days. I have been shown Laylatul Qadr, but I have been made to forget it. It is in one of the odd nights of the last 10 nights. I remember that I was prostrating in mud and water, meaning that in his dream when he was shown the ibadah he was doing on Laylatul Qadr, it was the night when the water had rained and had seeped through the roof. As the roof was not waterproof, it was just, there were holes in it, and the flooring was sand, so it had gotten wet with the water and became muddy. And he had made sajda in that muddy floor of Masjid Nabawi in his dream. That is what he's referring to. I was in his dream when he was making ibadah and Laylatul Qadr, it was a rainy night. The night of Qadr has been kept hidden from this ummah, so we may strive to do ibadat in all the last 10 nights. One of the benefits of not knowing is that we actually end up worshipping more because we do not know exactly which night it is. One thing is, if we are in i'tikaf, then we will be in ibadah the entire night. Normally it is difficult to pray every single moment of the night. SubhanAllah, but if you're in i'tikaf, automatically you will be in ibadah the whole night. And number 3, the whole night of Qadr. Rasulullah is the purest and closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Still he strived so much to obtain the night of Qadr. We are in more need, so that is why we need to strive for this night. If Rasulullah made so much effort to achieve Laylatul Qadr, then what about us? This hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Man masha fi hajati akhihi, whoever goes to help and take care of the need of his brother, fulfill his need, help him out, kana khayran lahu min i'tikafi 10 sinin. It is better than nafal i'tikaf of 10 years. And وَمَنْ اِعْتَكَفَ يَوْمًا, whoever did i'tikaf one day for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ابتغاء وجه الله, seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, جَعَلَ اللَّهُ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ النَّارِ ثَلَاثَ خَنَادِقٍ, Allah will place 3 trenches between him and the fire of Jahannam. كُلُّ خَنْدَقٍ أَبْعَدُ, every single trench will be farther مِمَّا بَيْنَ الْخَافِقَيْنِ, their distance will be greater than the distance between the sky and the earth. SubhanAllah. This is how far a person will be thrown away, will be delivered from the fire of Jahannam by making i'tikaf. Rasulullah said, a person who is doing i'tikaf, يَعْكِفُ الذُّنُوبَ, he is abstaining from all the sins. It is not necessary that you are doing all the good deeds, but what happens is when you are doing i'tikaf, 2 things happen. All the sins that are taking place outside, automatically you are protected from that, because those sins are not happening in the masjid. When you go home, you see the TV, you see different haram things, you cannot see those scenes in the masjid. You hear different haram things outside in the world, you don't hear those things in the masjid. It's just physically not possible to commit those sins. So you are already protected from those sins. And if somebody will say, okay, that's great, you are protected from sins, but what about the good deeds that are taking place outside? There's helping people outside, there is Salatul Janaza outside, participating in burials outside. You are deprived of these good deeds. Yes, you may be protected from bad deeds, but what about you getting deprived of good deeds? So that is why Rasulullah said, if you have the intention to participate in those good deeds, even though you're not able to attend, you will get the reward of all of those good deeds taking place outside. لَهُ مِنَ الْحَسَنَاتِ كَعَامِلِ الْحَسَنَاتِ كُلِّهَا, you will have the reward of all the good actions that are taking place outside just because you did the good intention, even though you cannot participate because of your i'tikaf. So this is a win-win situation. Protected from all the sins outside, automatically get the reward of all the good deeds outside. Every second you are in i'tikaf, you are in ibadah. When you're sleeping, you are i'tikaf sleeping, so you are ibadah. Eating, you are in i'tikaf in eating, so ibadah. Relaxing. You automatically are protected from sins, and you automatically receive the rewards of the good deeds that are taking place outside. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, some individuals, awtadan, they're like the pegs, that they are always sitting in the masajid. Al-malaikatu julasa'uhum, their companions are the angels. The angels, they sit with them. In ghabu yaftaqidunahum, if they happen to be absent, the angels, they miss them, they go searching for them. وَإِن مَرِضُوا عَادُوهُم, when they fall sick, the angels go to visit them. So subhanAllah, by doing i'tikaf, you become one of the pegs of the masjid. Abdullah ibn Umar narrates, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would routinely perform i'tikaf in the last 10 days of Ramadan. And his servant, his next generation tabi'i, Nafi', who was a student of Abdullah ibn Umar, he says, Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma would show us the exact place where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would perform i'tikaf. This is the Ustawanatu Sarir, the pillar of the Sarir in Madinatul Munawwara, in Masjid Nabawi. There's a pillar, is written on there, Ustawana as-Sarir, the pillar of the bedding of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That is where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to perform i'tikaf. And this is behind the pillar of the Tawbah. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when you perform i'tikaf, a bedding or bed will be placed for him behind the pillar of Tawbah. Ibn Majah. So this shows the different pillars in Masjid Nabawi, where we have these pillars are half inside the Rawda and half in the Riyadh al-Jannah. So this red one, the first one is Ustawana as-Sarir, that is where the bedding was placed. Then you have Ustawana al-Haras, that is where the guard of Rasulullah used to stand. Then you have Ustawana al-Wufud, that is where he would meet the different delegations. So these pillars, they have the marking on top of them. If you go into Masjid Nabawi, inshallah, next time, it says here in Arabic, in the green background in golden script, هذه أسطوانة السرير. So hadi is on the top, which means this. In the middle you have the word Ustuwana, which means pillar. In the bottom you have Alif Lam Sin Ra Ya Ra as-Sarir. هذه أسطوانة السرير. This is the pillar where the bedding of Rasulullah ﷺ used to be placed. What we learn is that it is permissible to put the bedding in the masjid. If need be, even a small bed, if someone is physically not capable of sleeping right on the floor. If somebody says, oh, your bedding should not be in the masjid, this is the sunnah of Rasulullah ﷺ. He placed the bedding where, that's why it's called Ustuwan as-Sarir. Sarir means bedding. And it's permissible for a person to make i'tikaf at the same place in the masjid every year. Rasulullah ﷺ made i'tikaf in the same place in the masjid every year. However, we have to be careful. We cannot force people to move, and we should not cause inconvenience to other people. Aisha radiallahu anha narrates that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to sit in i'tikaf in the last 10 days of Ramadan, and I used to pitch a tent for him. After offering the Fajr Salah, he used to enter the tent. Now, Aisha radiallahu anha asked him permission to make i'tikaf. Her hujra was attached to the masjid, so she would be entering her tent right from her home, not from the musalla of the men. So he granted her permission, so she put up a tent. But Hafsa radiallahu anha, the other wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she heard it, she put a tent. Zainab radiallahu anha heard it, she put another tent. Now in the morning, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he noticed all the tents. He said, what is this? Ma hadi? He was told of the whole situation. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was upset. Why was he upset? It's because Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha, her tent was placed in such a position that she did not have to go through the men's musalla to enter it. The access was straight from her hujra. And her hujra is where Rasulullah ﷺ is buried today. So instead of going through the men's section, she would enter from her room into her tent. But these tents were further inside. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, what made you do this? Is this taqwa? Remove them, that I do not see it. And this was that year where he was so upset that he did not sit in i'tikaf that Ramadan, and he made i'tikaf for 10 days in the month of Shawwal. So lessons. First, Rasulullah ﷺ had granted initially Aisha radiallahu anha permission, but then later on he forbade her. Her house was right next to the masjid, and it was not difficult for her to go into her room. Other wives, their houses were at a distance, and they would have to come in and out in front of the men. So he said that this is not taqwa. He told Aisha radiallahu anha also to remove the tent, so that the other wives, they do not feel hurt that, okay, he is not being fair. He told us to remove our tents, he's letting her. So he told Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha, you remove yours as well. Then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam removed his own tent so that Aisha radiallahu anha does not feel bad. These are the lessons we learn. Also, secluding oneself by curtains in i'tikaf is permissible as long as it does not inconvenience others or make the masjid congested. And when Rasulullah ﷺ gave the permission and then removed the permission, this teaches us that a wife should not sit in i'tikaf without the permission of her husband. And if the husband gave the permission but some valid reason occurs and he takes the permission back, it is permissible as well. Another hadith of Rasulullah ﷺ, Aisha radiallahu anha narrates, when Rasulullah ﷺ would sit in i'tikaf, he would bring his head close to me while his feet were in the masjid. So he would be sitting inside the masjid and he would lean over. That is how close his house was. It was just attached. He would not enter the house except for human needs to relieve himself. Why would he bring his head closer? So she would comb it and oil his hair. So it's permissible if for half the body to be outside of the masjid, it will not break the i'tikaf. It is permissible to wash the head, comb the hair, as long as the water flows out of the masjid. And someone from outside the masjid who is not in i'tikaf can do it for someone in i'tikaf. If some part of the body goes out of the masjid, i'tikaf will not break as long as majority of the body is inside the masjid. And we learn it is permissible to leave the masjid to relieve oneself. Aisha radiallahu anha narrates, the Prophet ﷺ would pass by sick people while he's performing i'tikaf, when he would go to the bathroom. But he would continue to walk without diverting and would ask them regarding their health. Meaning without stopping, without pausing, he would say, how are you doing? Are you doing better? I pray for your recovery. But he would not pause. Meaning even for a moment he would not delay when he went out of the masjid while in i'tikaf. The biggest rukun and pillar of i'tikaf, right from the definition, is to stay within the boundary of the masjid for those days. The lesson is, it's not permissible to leave the masjid without a valid excuse. If while walking, somebody talks and asks someone about the sick, how are you doing? It is permissible. But it's not permissible to take an additional extra route for this purpose. Safiya radiallahu anha, the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, went to visit Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he was in the masjid in i'tikaf in the last 10 days of Ramadan. Safiya bint Huyay bin Akhtab. So she talked to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for a while, then she got up to return home. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam accompanied his wife up to the gate of the masjid. So he went to see her off up to the gate. He did not go outside. Opposite the door of Salma radiallahu anha, two Ansari men were passing by. And they said, Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam clarified, and he said, do not leave, wait. Innaha zawjati Safiya bint Huyay bin Akhtab. This is my wife Safiya radiallahu anha. So they said, Subhanallah, O Rasulullah, why are you clarifying to us? Do you think we're going to have a bad opinion regarding you, that you're talking to some strange woman in the night? We would not have thought that. You did not have to go and clarify. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that shaitan, he reaches everywhere in the human body just like blood reaches it. So I was afraid that he might insert an evil thought in your mind. This is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Lessons. If someone comes to visit you in i'tikaf, it is permissible to talk to them, like Rasulullah's wife came. If a woman comes to visit someone in i'tikaf, she should not come in front of the men. She should observe the laws of hijab. Number 3, if someone comes to visit you, you may go and see them out up to the door without leaving the masjid. Number 4, it is permissible if a person needs to talk privately to his wife while in i'tikaf. Number 5, if you are in such a situation where somebody might have an evil thoughts, then the best thing is to clarify the situation so they are not guilty of dhann as-su, of having and harboring evil thoughts. Clarify the situation. Aisha radhiyallahu anha narrates the manner to perform i'tikaf for a person is that he does not visit the sick, he will not participate in salat al-janazah, he will not have physical relations with a woman, and he will not leave the masjid unless there is extreme necessity. There is no i'tikaf without fasting, and there is no i'tikaf but in a jami' masjid, a congregational masjid, narrated by Abu Dawud. Who can do i'tikaf? As long as the person is Muslim and sane. Muslim, non-Muslim cannot do i'tikaf. Sane means aqil. A person who is majnoon, is insane, cannot make i'tikaf. A woman can perform i'tikaf, but she should do so in the confines of her home, in that room where she usually prays her salah, along with the permission of her husband. Where can i'tikaf be done for men? Only in a masjid. The most rewarding is in number 1, Masjid al-Haram in Makkah. Number 2, most rewarding is Masjid al-Nabawi, the Masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina. Third is Masjid al-Aqsa. This is the most rewarding third masjid in the world. Fourth masjid, if you cannot make it to the above 3, is a masjid where Jum'ah is performed. Fifth is a masjid where Jum'ah is not performed, 5 daily salat are performed. It has to be one of these. If it is a place where they only perform Fajr and Isha, or they do not perform all 5 daily salat, it is a rented musalla where they do not have 5 daily prayers, then we cannot perform i'tikaf there. Types of i'tikaf: there is a wajib i'tikaf, there is a sunnah i'tikaf, and nafal. Wajib is if you make a vow, nadhar, or manna to Allah Ta'ala. Oh Allah, I will make i'tikaf for 3 days if I pass this exam, or if my child is recovered from sickness, or whatever stipulation or dua you make to Allah. Oh Allah, you fulfill this dua of mine, I'll make i'tikaf. Now you made this vow, promise and pledge to Allah, so it becomes wajib. Sunnah is last 10 days of Ramadan, and nafal is any other time throughout the year, or any time within the last 10 days, less than 10 days, like 1 weekend, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, 5 days, even 9 days is nafal i'tikaf. When it's sunnah is when you do it complete 10. So we'll be using these terms, sunnah i'tikaf versus nafal. So now you know, sunnah means full 10 days. Nafal means less than 10 days. The sunnah i'tikaf starts on the night of 21st. Right? That's Tuesday. The day of the 20th before Asr finishes. Right? Today is Sunday, then tomorrow Monday, then Tuesday. Until the moon of Eid is sighted. Most likely on Thursday night. It looks like it might be only 9 days this year. You have to be inside the confines of the masjid proper and the boundaries of the masjid before the adhan of Maghrib on Tuesday. If you are packing and you got late and the adhan of the Maghrib happens, you're in the parking lot, or you are parking your car in the welder's lot, or better yet is if you are getting dropped off, carpooling, somebody drops you off, because we have very limited parking with the construction, and we don't want all the i'tikaf brothers who are here for 10 days, their cars taking up the parking. So preferably somebody drops you off. And if you're still outside and the adhan goes for Maghrib, that means that you cannot do sunnah i'tikaf this year. You can still do nafal i'tikaf, but you need to be inside the masjid before the adhan of Maghrib and able to get the sunnah i'tikaf. That's why I plan to be here at Asr time. So you can still go in and out and get situated before Maghrib. So we have to understand the difference between the masjid building and the masjid proper. The masjid building is the entire structure, including bathrooms, hallways, offices, basement, wudu areas. And then there is the masjid proper. The masjid proper is the musalla area. So we have to stay within the masjid proper. So this prayer area here is the masjid proper. In the lobby is also the masjid proper. Outside we will go walk through at the end and we will identify the boundaries. And we'll be putting the tape in the boundaries so we are aware of that. That outside marble lobby, that is part of the masjid proper. And in my right side and your left side, those doors, they will be open perhaps. Sometimes we open them when we use that hall as well during the busy nights. That is not part of the masjid. So people, men who might be going in there and praying, but they're not in i'tikaf. If you're in i'tikaf, you should not go in that hall. And we kept it out of the masjid proper through our niyyah, because most of the time the women use that for classes, and whether they are in state of purity or impurity, they have to come all 30 days of the month for classes. They cannot not come for 7 days in the month, or 10 days in a month, or 5 days in a month. The days of the impurity, they cannot continually miss. So that's why that area is outside of the masjid proper, so the women can have accessibility throughout the days of the month, whether they are tahir or haida. So this side, there's another room on my left hand side, your right hand side, that is part of the masjid proper. And many of our older senior mu'takif people who do not have to be going up and down the stairs, they will be stationed there. And the more younger ones and mashallah healthier ones can be stationed downstairs. And the stairs are part of the masjid. The kitchen is outside the masjid. The main hall downstairs, up to a certain extent, we'll show the pillars, is part of the masjid. So it is very important we learn the boundaries of the masjid proper today, before we leave. It is permissible to leave the masjid proper due to necessity. What is a necessity? If a person has to go to the bathroom, or take a ghusl for impurity, or a ghusl for Jum'ah, or wudu, or getting food, if no one is able to bring it, but if you have volunteers who will bring it for you. The muadhin have to go outside to call the adhan. That is not applicable, as the adhan is within the masjid here. And if you are in a masjid that there is no Jummah Salat, then you can leave your i'tikaf masjid to go perform Jummah elsewhere, which does not apply since we have Jummah here. Na'udhu billah, if the masjid collapses or burns, or just a natural disaster, and there's a tragedy, then you can leave, because the masjid is now collapsed due to earthquake or tornado. I'tikaf breaks, then in that case, if you leave the masjid, you have to make qada of that 1 day i'tikaf only. You do not have to make qada of all 10 days. If there is time in the same Ramadan, you can sit one more day with the intention of qada. Meaning if you have time, after third day your i'tikaf broke because you left the masjid and your i'tikaf broke, then fine. The next day, the fourth day, make the niyat of i'tikaf, make 1 day qada. If your i'tikaf broke on the 29th day, there is no time to make qada in Ramadan, next day is Eid, then you can make up any other day. Why can you not make qada on the day of Eid? Because when you are making i'tikaf, you have to fast. And fasting on the day of Eid is haram, prohibited. Etiquettes of i'tikaf, what should we do? Spend as much time as possible in seclusion, remembrance of Allah, dhikr of Allah. You should talk less as possible and pray nawafil, tilawat of the Quran, dhikr of Allah, listen to the lectures that will take place, read Islamic books. So there will be a lot of lectures. We're going to go through the schedule inshallah, a lot of different programs to keep us engaged, because unfortunately we are at such a level that it's difficult for us to on our own to remain engaged in tilawah and dhikr all the time. That is why we have ijtima'i communal programs. What are permissible things in i'tikaf? It is permissible to eat in the masjid, to sleep in the masjid. Otherwise it's not permissible, only for the one in i'tikaf, with the niyat of i'tikaf. To buy and sell, if that is which is necessary. To cut the hair, to trim the hair, to talk, to perform a nikah. Having the physical relations is haram. The nikah itself is permissible. Changing clothes without exposing himself. Checking the sick and prescribing medicine, teaching lessons from Quran and Islamic sciences, sewing clothes. What's disliked is total silence. total complete silence, assuming it to be taqwa, this is disliked. That is not what fasting is about. That was in the past, where Maryam alayhi salam said that فَلَنْ أُكَلِّمَ الْيَوْمَ إِنْسِيًّا, I cannot speak to anyone because I am in i'tikaf, I am in Sawm. That was a Sawm of the past nations. But in this ummah, there is no fast like that. Futile talks is makruh. Bringing merchandise into the masjid to sell is makruh. Taking up so much space, inconveniencing others, and doing paid work in the masjid. So, we should not cause pain to other people, and make sure that our i'tikaf, as it becomes a means of getting closeness to Allah, does not become a means of harming other people. And we have to be patient with one another, not disturb others when they are resting. I'tikaf 2018 schedule. Alhamdulillah, this is a schedule. In the morning, 3:30 to 3:45, there will be du'as of munajat, maqbool, accepted whispers. These are du'as of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They will be displayed on the screen and will be made so we can follow along. Right? This is after suhoor, before Fajr Salah. Then Fajr Salah will be performed in Jama'ah at 3:45 to 4 o'clock, inshallah. Then there are morning du'as that are to be recited every morning. They'll be recited. Then we will have the Q&A session, inshallah, 4:15 to 5:30. So there will be a box in the lobby placed where we should put our questions, anonymous questions. And then those questions will be taken out of the box and will be answered, inshallah, in the morning. Then we have recitation of Surah Yasin in dua, 5:30 to 5:45. Then you have the rest time. This is a major resting time in the entire 24 hours. There are very short nights now, so literally there is no time of resting in the night. Normally we sleep at night, and if the i'tikaf moves to the winter, then there will perhaps be time to sleep at night. Currently, with the way the schedule is, this is the major sleeping time in the whole 24-hour period. So we really need to sleep, and sometimes the younger ones in particular, if they are disturbing the people who are trying to sleep, this makes it very difficult. So it's literally almost, we could say, mandatory sleeping time. Sometimes we try to stay awake at the sleeping time, and then the time of ibadah and the time of the program, we are very tired. So we should avail of this opportunity and go to sleep. Then you have individual Quranic recitation before Dhuhr, 12 o'clock to 1:15. Time for your individual ibadah, because you have to complete your own khatam. وَالَّذِينَ آتِينَاهُمُ الْكِتَابَ يَتْلُونَهُ حَقَّ تِلَاوَتِهِ. Allah Ta'ala says, those who we have given the book, they fulfill the right of its recitation. So the haqq of the Quran is that we at least complete one entire khatam in the month of Ramadan. Dhuhr Salah is 1:30, inshallah. Then we will have lessons from Sahih al-Bukhari. Imam Bukhari, rahmatullah, Sahih book, Kitab al-Fitan, by Mulana Yusuf Ghoth. The book of trials and tribulations and the test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and signs of the day of judgment, and the different wars that will take place before the coming of Dajjal. This is a very interesting topic, and also relevant for us to protect ourselves from the fitan that are coming. After that lesson, inshallah, we'll have a tajweed workshop. The tajweed workshop is where we'll be going over the tajweed of the last 10 surahs and Surah Fatiha to ensure our recitation of the surahs that we do in salah is correct. Then, this is your second period of rest. That is an optional resting time, 3:45 to 6:30. And we can do our individual ibadah as well. After that, you won't see any rest. Then 7 o'clock to 7:10 is the Asr Salah. At Asr time, all our bedding which will be downstairs, we have to ensure that after this rest, when you wake up for Asr, inshallah, we have to pick up all our bedding from downstairs. We cannot leave it spread out, because the downstairs hall will be used by the sisters for Taraweeh. the same place that you're sleeping downstairs, all of the bedding will be downstairs, not upstairs in the main musalla, but downstairs musalla. That same hall will be used by the sisters for Taraweeh, and they will not be praying on our pillows, on your sleeping bag. So we have to pick them all up every day. This is a daily practice. Before Asr, right, we should pick it up. And besides the woman, if you're not interested in helping the sisters, yourself also will be eating there. Your dinner will be in that same hall. So it is a multi-purpose hall, emphasis on multi-purpose. Multiple different things will take place there. So that is the same place you will eat. So you have to put out your, the volunteer brothers will put out the dastarkhan, which is the ma'duba, the tablecloth, and they will prepare it for dinner. And they need to prepare it for dinner and before Maghrib. So that's why we have to pick up our bedding before Asr. Where do we put the bedding? When you go downstairs, we'll show you there's one classroom. The first classroom is a library. The second classroom on the right is going to be the storage room. We put all storage shelving in that classroom. So you will have an appointed place. It's not random, you know. Last year we actually had stickers with names where your appointed locker is. That is where you'll keep your bedding. We're trying to improve. Before we used to just store it under the stairs, but it becomes very dirty. So now we have a storage room with storage shelving. All the bedding is placed there. Then after Asr Salat, we will have a discourses on Hikam of Ibn Ata'illah Askandari rahimahullah. Very important Islamic spirituality discourse. And when that completes, half an hour, then there's time for individual dhikr in dua. You learn about making dua and then you actually have time to do the dua. Otherwise it will be just talks the entire time. So you have time to do individual dua till Maghrib. Then after the dua is done, the iftar will be done, and after Maghrib you will quickly go and eat your dinner. You need to eat quickly downstairs, because after we finish eating, then the brothers have to change that dining hall, make it into women's prayer hall. That's why, inshallah, when we have the seminary campus construction done, the women will have their own prayer hall, and we will not have to multi-use it. And we will have a separate dining hall and separate women's prayer hall. Right now, that is not the case. So this is the dinner. After the dinner, inshallah, we come up. Then we will perform Dawr Isha Salah at 10:15 and Taraweeh. After Taraweeh, inshallah, there will be tafsir of some ayahs that were recited in Taraweeh. After that, there will be some break, individual worship. And on the odd nights, it is very much rush here, with a lot of people doing ibadah. So on the even nights, when there's less rush, we will have youth-only sessions of the community and those who are around surrounding areas. We have different speakers lined up on every even night to come and speak to the youth. Like last night, we had the youth qiyam. Then we have salawat on Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and dua, late night, 1:30 to 2 o'clock, 40 salawat on Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then 2 o'clock we have the suhoor to 3:15. It takes time for everyone to pick their food up from the buffet and eat. You know, you'll say, hey, at home, I have suhoor in 20 minutes. Why your suhoor is 2 o'clock? It's because we have a bigger congregation of people. So it takes more time. And after tahajjud, inshallah, then we go back to the application of the Prophet ﷺ. Subhanallah. Few logistical announcements is that parking, please note that it's best if somebody drops you off. So your car is not stuck here, reducing the availability of parking for those who are coming and going when your car is going to be stuck here for 10 days. Those that cannot get dropped off for whatever reason, despite that being the best option, if they have to come in their own car, they can carpool. Inshallah, come with multiple people together. And if that is not possible as well, if you're coming on your own, in either case, if you bring a car, then please park it in the lot which is on the corner of Swift Road in North Avenue. So if you don't know where that is, then today is the time to see it. Because on Tuesday, Maghrib time, the clock will be ticking. You have to get inside before Maghrib, and if you're trying to explore the area, you might get delayed, and it might cost you your Sunnah Itikaf for the whole year. Next chance would be to do it next year. So please see it on your way out now, on Sunday, when you are more time today. Where are we? We're talking about corner of Swift and North Avenue. So this is Swift Road, and then there's North Avenue. On the corner, there's a lot. Where's the entrance? You will not find the entrance from North Avenue side. The entrance is from the Swift side. You see there's a car lot here where they sell used cars. After the used car lot, in the corner, right, there are 3 properties in this corner. There is the car lot, then there is this landscape creations where they have a business where they do landscaping. And between these two, right at the ultimate corner, at the actual tip of the intersection of North and Swift, there is a welder's lot. It's a white building, which is a very old looking building and made of block, painted white, block building. It was a welder's office there. That was building, that small lot, it's one acre, was bought by the masjid. So that is Masjid Darussalam Masjid's property. So we can park there. Entrance is through Swift Road. On Tuesday, Asr time, you should come, Asr time, 7 o'clock. And there will be volunteers after Asr helping you to park there, guiding you directly there. Please note, so it does not become an issue of contention, that upstairs room for itikaf is going to be reserved for seniors and older people who need to take rest more, and it will be difficult for them to pick up their bedding and removing it every day for the sisters and for the food, like the ones downstairs have to pick it up every day. It's difficult for our seniors. Man lam yuwaqqir kabirana, whoever does not honor our elders, falaysa minna, is not amongst us, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. This is our deen, to teach, to honor the elders. So, as the youngsters, we stopped honoring our elders. This is a major sin on our part. And the elders have already gotten so used to not being honored that if you honor them, they feel like very strange. Oh, why are you honoring us? That's supposed to be the default. There was one khatam of Quran on Saturday. On Saturday we have Team Fajr, we have the breakfast. So one day, one parent, his students, 2 of his sons finished Hifz al-Quran here. So I happened to do the dars, and after the dars we had the breakfast in the lobby. So a lot of people came from far because it was a big family, and it was well known. He had invited a lot of friends. So what happened was, in the whole line in the lobby, it was snaking around the lobby. It was a very long line. So there was these old people, seniors with walking sticks. They're standing at the end of the line, and the entire front of the line was the kids. So the whole his class, these young kids, they're standing in the line, and the old seniors are in the back. So I went and I told them that everyone under the age of 20, get out of the line, go to the back, and let these elders eat, which should have been something very normal. That's not the strange thing what I said. The strange thing I found was the elders were so shocked. They said, no, let them eat, everything is fine. We are okay standing in the back of the line. So this is what I'm saying. Not respecting the elders has become so much norm. If somebody says that, okay, let's respect the elders, you guys can eat last, and I'm going to eat with you last. Oh kids, let the elders eat first. The elders themselves are parishan. They're scared, they're worried, what's going on? Why are we being honored? So in any case, the elders, I said everyone under the age of 20 can join me in the back of the line. So the reason I was so bold in this, no one says this. In this particular situation, I was bold enough to say that because they're all the students here. My own students, so I was able to say that. Perhaps if somewhere else, maybe I wouldn't be so bold. Okay, so upstairs is reserved for the seniors. Downstairs main hall is going to be used for sleeping for the rest of us, and food for all of us, suhoor and iftar and dinner, and sisters musalla. All bedding must be put away by the Asr daily in the shelves in downstairs classrooms. Upstairs we'll be having shelves in the same room. For the men, older seniors, they'll have shelves as well. some of the odd nights, and sometimes when it's required, we might ask the seniors to also, you might help them to move their bedding. It's not that they will not have to move their bedding at all. They might need to sometimes as well. For Jummah as well, of course, Jummah Salat, they will have to move it. Okay. Brothers need to proceed downstairs for dinner right after Maghrib Sunnah. This is a problem sometimes, that you're overcome with the jazba and the desire for ibadah. After Maghrib Salah, you want to do a long nawafil. What happens is that really backs up the whole situation, because they cannot wrap up the dinner preparations and pick up the food and the buffet tables, and they have to vacuum the whole place and pick up the tarp. The whole area is tarped for dinner. They have to remove the whole tarp for the Taraweeh for the sisters. The brothers cannot do that because you are performing a nafil upstairs. So therefore, after Maghrib Salah, do perform nafil, but eat the dinner first, then come back up and pray. Do not do long nafil prayers and delay the dinner, because that will delay the program for the cleanup. Downstairs, there are bathrooms on the men's side, which we always use round the clock, but we have bathrooms for the sister side. We will have access till 9:45 p.m. When you go as a person in itikaf to the men's bathroom and there is a line, then it is permissible for you to go to the women's bathrooms downstairs, which is outside of the masjid boundary. Further, if there is opening in the men's bathroom, then it would not be permissible to go to the women's bathroom, because you are taking further steps outside of the masjid. You're supposed to use the closest available bathroom. Not voluntarily, it's a good idea to use the closest available bathroom, but mandatorily, as a mu'takif, you're supposed to take the least amount of steps outside the masjid as necessary. So therefore, it is only permissible to use the women's bathroom if the men's bathroom is full, which might be the case with all of the number of people. Very probable the men's bathroom may be full. Then they have to clean the main hall. 9:45, they will clean it every day. They will vacuum it. We'll be deodorizing it 15 minutes before Iqamah. The Iqamah will be around 10 p.m. Kitchen is outside the masjid boundary, so we should not enter the kitchen. They will have volunteers who will be serving from the kitchen. The shoe areas on top is outside the boundary, and the shoe areas in front here in the vestibule is outside the boundary. We will see the boundary now. Please continue to cooperate with the Khidmat brothers by following these instructions, as well as trying to clean up for yourself on your own plate and your neighbor's plate after dinner and after suhoor. The suggested donation to cover your cost of the food and the suhoor and the snacks and the dinner and some of the programs, the honorariums for the speakers, etc., is $15 for a day. It should be, inshallah, we pray, affordable, not something that will break your bank account. $15 a day, inshallah. So if a person has the entire 10 days, he could quick pay or just by credit card in itikaf expenses, just donate one time $150 and be over with it, inshallah. And there is a upstairs bathroom, one single bathroom, that is for our handicapped brothers. Sometimes they cannot go downstairs because the elevator is on the sister side. Also, there are seniors who are doing itikaf upstairs. Let us leave that bathroom for the seniors who are doing itikaf upstairs, rather than making them having to wait. We can go downstairs, the majority of us. Is that clear? Inshallah. So we have Hafiz Umar Barla in the back. He is going to be the main coordinator in itikaf, and we should be, inshallah, following his instructions during the time. So last thing, part of the orientation, is that we will do the walkthrough. Any other questions before we do the walkthrough? Yes. Ji? Normal? Yeah. Normal shower? Yeah. Yeah, so shower should be done when a person has to do farad ghusl, or if he is doing a ghusl for Friday. Other than that, no. Yes, for sunnah itikaf, yes. Yeah. Can you explain the permissibility of that? Or? Yeah, he's asking that if for whatever, if somebody has some personal excuse, he is not able to sleep in the masjid, it still doesn't mean that if you can't do the whole thing, you don't do anything. You can participate in the programs. Like you come in the morning du'as, and then in the after dhuhr you come for the Bukhari dars, and you come for the Kitab al-Fitan lesson and Tajweed workshop, and after Asr the spirituality discourse. You participate in the programs to the best of your ability, and if you're not able to sleep, then you can sleep at home. But of course, the highest level and the full sunnah and the full platinum reward is going to be for those who do the i'tikaf. But those who cannot do it, it is open for them to participate in the programs. Like the sisters as well, they can come in the day and participate in programs. Yes. This year, based on the visibility, in Ramadan most likely will end on Thursday night. It seems this moon will be sighted. So Jum'ah is like about 99% going to be Eid. So you will get the reward for full i'tikaf. You will not have a reward for 9 days i'tikaf only, because you made the intention for 10 days and you are ready for 10 days. If the moon is not sighted on Thursday night and Friday is also Ramadan, then you will get the thawab for that, even though you did not do it. Innamal a'malu bin niyat. Yeah, the lot for the parking is the same one we used last year, if you are aware of that. But last year, note that this, I don't want to just say the same one last year, because I don't know where you parked last year. There is a welder's lot which is the same as last year, but then last year we also had, alhamdulillah, access to this car lot which was out of business, so they allowed us to park. But now they're back in business, so we cannot use that. So if you parked in the car lot, that is not accessible this year. It's only the welder's lot which comes after the car lot. Look for an old, like, white block building. That is what we're talking about. The entrance, there's a gate from Swift Road. When you come out from the Swift Road, you're going towards North Avenue, turn left from the masjid, you will find there's this house, then there's landscape creations with a big stone. And then after that is the gate to the welder's lot. It is a few feet in from North Avenue. As soon as you come in from North Avenue, it's the first entrance. On the right side from when you're coming in from North Avenue, from the masjid, you're going out the left side. It is on the west side of Swift Road. It's gravel in that area. 30-40 cars can be parked easily in there, right? You are aware, right? I'm sure. I did not mention it, but you will be hearing a lot about it, and should have been hearing about it, that there is an expansion in progress, right? There is a construction, active construction taking place, so that is eating up a lot of the parking. And we are going to compensate that parking. About 120 parking is going to be lost, and 150 parking will be gained. Net gain of 30 parking. But we're in the middle area, middle time period, where the parking is being lost, new parking is not there, and the parking needs are greatly increased. So we are in a difficult situation. So that's why we need your help to have someone drop you off. That's the best thing. Don't even worry about the car. You're going to be here 10 days. And if not, then park in the welder's lot. Anything else? Yes. What should you bring to itikaf? You should bring your bedding, pillow and sleeping bag. You should bring your toothbrush and toiletries. You should bring your soap, towel. You should bring a few pairs of clothes. You should bring your own Quran to recite one khatam, inshallah. If you do it, inshallah, And we should bring some books so you can read, because sometimes we get tired from one form of ibadah. So if you have something to study and learn, that would be great too. You should bring your own tasbih so you can do your dhikr in the morning and evening. Tasbih, Quran, dhikr, books. And if you have any medication, then you should bring your medication. Food wise, there will be a lot of arrangement for food here. You don't have to worry about food. And that pretty much takes care of it. And do not overpack, then it'll become a burden for you to keep all the extra stuff. Try to pack light, inshallah. You have something? Any restriction on volunteering for the people in Sunnah I'tikaf? There is no restriction besides leaving the masjid. So we can take turns to vacuum clean different areas. We can be assigned different teams. We can sign up for that, inshallah. There'll be opportunity in I'tikaf that we'll reaching out that who wants to volunteer for different services within the confines of the masjid. Then you can join that as well. Jay? Yeah, you can speak to brothers, the volunteer chairs, if you want to volunteer, inshallah. Yes. Yeah, we didn't really talk about this, but we strongly recommend in I'tikaf that we try to unplug ourselves from the digital world, and we should not be sitting in I'tikaf on the internet, surfing the internet, world wide web of shayateen, and we are considering that we're in I'tikaf. So try to remove ourselves from these things, from going online, going on our smartphones, going on laptops. With few exceptions, if there's some dire need that you want to do the 10 days I'tikaf but one day, or you have some job or something online, then some exception can be made for that. But that should not be the norm. Yes. Checking emails is not recommended. I mean, if you want to limit it to that, because for you, maybe at your age and your position in life, you might have limited time on email. But if you open the door, and especially in the summer I'tikaf, there's youth, then what happens is that there's social media, they're just checking Facebook, checking Snapchat, Twitters, this and that. It becomes a huge distraction. You know yourself best. If you can control it, that's fine. They will defeat the purpose of I'tikaf, correct. Alright. Inshallah. Okay, now we'll do the walkthrough. Gee, one last announcement. Okay, let me just check. He just sent me another announcement. Yeah, the masjid Wi-Fi, because may not necessarily be available, so that we want to control that misuse in I'tikaf. May Allah Ta'ala protect us. Jazakallah. Subhanallah. Hafiz Umar you can take them, follow Hafiz Umar's lead, you'll take the tour, inshallah.